Good morning and welcome to Paul T Reviews, and in this video I'm going to review the GardePro E9PCF Trail Camera. This is a close focus trail camera designed to video and obviously take photos of small animals and birds, perhaps in your garden or out in the woods. This is a comprehensive review. I'll be doing an unboxing. I'll be showing you all the settings. I've read the manual, so you don't need to. It's all quite straightforward. The buttons on this camera are quite large, easy to use, intuitive, and it even tells you on the screen. There's quite a nice large, well, it's 2.4-inch screen, colour screen, that actually tells you which buttons to press to do what. To access the settings, switch to on. Hit the menu and we have the list of the settings. So Wi-Fi, obviously you want on. The mode, you decide whether you want video only, pictures only, time-lapse, and a hybrid, which is between pictures and a time-lapse. I wouldn't recommend using hybrid at all. So unless you want to use a time-lapse, then just leave it on motion detection. Photo and video, you can obviously choose between taking just photos, just videos, and photos and videos. If you do photos and video, first the camera will take a photo and then a video. What's quite good is the reaction time between the photo and the video is 1 second. You can choose how many photos you want. It could be 1 to 5. Photo quality, I choose 8 megapixels for this camera, which is probably its native resolution. You can, if you want, choose higher resolutions right up to 64 megapixels, but that's simply interpolated. I choose 8. Photo burst, so when you choose photos, you can choose between 1 and 5. Video quality, I would choose 1080p, that's HD. And that is shot at 30 frames per second. If you do choose slightly higher, which is 1296p, then the camera only videos at 20 frames per second. I'll show you an example of 20 frames per second when we look at the examples. You can hardly notice any difference, but I do prefer 30 frames per second. Video length, you can choose between a couple of seconds and 5 minutes. I choose 1 minute for both day and night. Video sound, obviously you want that on. Video formats, you can choose between MP4 and MOV. Unless you particularly want MOV, I would leave it at MP4, which is a very compatible video format. Detection delay, I would put that to 0 seconds. That means it will start filming as soon as possible after it's detected an animal. I don't want any delay. PIR sensitivity, you can use high, medium and low. I always choose high. I don't want to miss anything. Might as well leave the side motion sensors to on. Motion test, I don't use motion test at all actually. I just used a live view to see exactly what's happening. Time-lapse interval. Now the good thing about this particular camera is you can have a time-lapse interval of 1 second, which is fabulous because most trail cameras have a minimum of 5 seconds interval, so 1 second is pretty good. Time-lapse period, so that's when you would be setting a time-lapse and when you want it to start and finish. You may just want an overnight time-lapse, for example. Time zone. Date and time. Date format, I use day, month, year, but you might want them in a different order. Time format, you can use 24 or 12 hour. Camera name, I name the exact camera, which is quite handy if you have a number of cameras. Info strip, that is where you want a caption strip at the bottom of photos and videos, which tells you the time that the animal entered the view. I have that off at the moment. Loop recording, don't put that on. That's for when the memory card is full, and if you have loop recording on, any new videos will actually be recorded over the old ones, so leave that to off. Operation hours, well I want that operating all the time, but you could perhaps set that for just overnight if it's only night shots you're interested in. Password, language. Format the SD card. So I recommend that when you first put the SD card in, you format it in this camera and periodically keep formatting in the camera, and then you won't have any compatibility problems. There we are, I'm just formatting it now. You've got to be careful when you format your SD card, all videos and photos are erased, so make sure you've already downloaded them. Factory reset, in case you want to reset all these settings to the factory default. And then the version. Contact us, they have a support email, and that's all the settings you need. And once you've set that up, you needn't come back in and look at it again, unless there's things you want to change. The memory card is a CF memory card. It's the larger type. It's really easy to put into the camera and take out. Much easier than the micro SD cards. I mount the trail camera on a small bendy tripod. It's my favorite tripod, particularly with this camera, because you're going to tend to want to get quite low on the ground with this camera, taking foxes, badgers, mice, birds at a feeder. This will be ideal for that. It actually focuses, or the focusing is from, I would say, 6 or 8 inches up to about 36 inches. I've done a test on that. I did the test down to 4 inches. Obviously that's too close, so you'll be able to see exactly where you feel the optimum distance is for this camera. It's got an internal battery which you can actually take out. You can buy a spare battery and just pop that in. The battery lasts forever. I did a test on that over about a week where I charged the battery up full, and I shot 750 videos and about 400 stills. 750 videos at 1 minute each. And the battery went from 100% down to 32% after 750 videos. So I'm really pleased with that. There's also, as an extra accessory, a solar panel, which is quite powerful. It charged up in about 5 hours the trail camera from 32% up to 42% on a few hours on a hazy day. So if you had a couple of days of good sunshine, it would charge the battery up, and the battery lasts, as we know. The video actually at 1080p is 30 frames per second, which is perfect. At the larger resolution, which is 1296p, it actually only shoots at 20 frames per second. A bit low for me, but many people wouldn't even notice. I've got some examples to show you so you can see the difference between 20 frames per second and 30 frames per second. This is my new favourite camera. You do need other cameras for the distant pictures and videos, but for close-up that I do a lot in the garden, it's fantastic. I really enjoy using this camera. I've got a link down in the description below if you want to check out the camera. I hope this video has been useful to you, and if it is, please give the video a like. You know it helps the algorithm, and I appreciate that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.